Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. It's your DFB uncle, Eli, and the DFB director himself, Sire.
Hey man, listen. Hit the record button right now because you know what time it is. Let's go.
Yes. Make sure to subscribe and like our podcast.
It's what you said, man. Like, you gotta learn to stop existing and start living,
Yes.
right? And start like getting in the driver's seat and being more purposeful and intentional about your life. And recognizing that life is not happening to you, right? It's happening for you.
Yes.
Right? Like
yes.
it's happening for you. So like, and again, these are lessons that I learned personally where, when every time something starts to unfold in my life and I'm like, why is this happening? Like, and that's why I start documenting everything. I go back and look like, okay, what did I ask for? And then I'm able to trace back and say, okay, you said you wanted to develop this aspect of your character. You want to be a great father. You want to be, a great businessman. You wanted to be, a great coach, right? Like, you want to be a great, fitness and nutritional development, like all the things that I asked for, right? Like when life says, okay, wish granted, then it starts to orchestrate itself.
Yeah.
Like I guess maybe like consciously, I'm not expecting things to just start happening that quickly or in a certain fashion because we tend to look for it. Like me personally, I may be looking for it a specific way, and life is like, no, I'm not gonna happen that way. I'm gonna happen the way I want it to happen.
Yes.
And here you go.
Yes.
Wish granted. So I had to like take a step back and recognize like, okay, this stuff is not happening to me. It's happening for me.
Wow.
So I have to like just embrace it and go back and look at my documentation of like, what did I ask for, right? That's why be careful of what you ask for, verbally, because if you don't have it written down and documented that, hey, I asked for this, and you just said it verbally, you can easily forget that.
Yeah.
Like when things start showing up and things starts orchestrating and start happening, for you, right? You mistakenly think that they're happening to you, and then you have no record trail of, well, why is this? Why is this?
Wow.
Why is that?
Wow.
And you just, why is this and why is that and why is me? But when you write things down and you're able to go back and say, okay, well, what did I specifically ask for? Oh, okay, yeah, I did ask for that, right? Okay, so this scenario and this situation that I'm in is relating to this specific thing, right? So let me go ahead and embrace it, and and then you take yourself from the passenger seat to the driver's seat, and then now you participate in life and you start living, right?
Yes.
And for me, like then again, and for me and for us, like as we approach each day, then it becomes intentional. Then it's like, man, I'm gonna show gratitude towards everything. I'm gonna show gratitude towards the day before the day even unfolds, because I know that whatever is unfolding that day, whether it's pleasant or unpleasant, is happening for me.
Yes, man. Just like they say, remember, like, everything in this world is designed for me to succeed.
Right.
So whatever it is, man, like you said, right, that part of, documenting what you asked for, man, that definitely stood out for me because, at some point, we forget, right? You don't write it down, you forget, and then you're going through life like, man, why is this person? Why is that? Why does this? And then you're like, oh, you forgot what you asked for.
Yes.
Be careful for what you wish for, man.
Yes.
Wow.
It reminds me of a conversation that me and my oldest, right, like had one day on the way to school in the morning, and we live on a hillside. So as soon as we come out, there's a hillside, and you kind of go slightly up the hill. As you get to the top of the hill, you look straight ahead. There's a valley, there's a lake, and then there's a mountain right behind it, right? So every morning at this particular time of the year, there's the clouds, or like the dew kind of drops, right? The precipitation comes down, so then you see like the clouds, like the fog, right?
Yeah.
And then there's a level where all the fog exists, and then you look higher than the top of the mountain, and then there's fog, and then right beneath that is a lake, right? And it's first thing in the morning. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's kind of very peaceful and serene.
Yes.
And I remember, and we see this every morning, like go out. And then we drive that route. So one morning I asked him, I said, look over there. He looked. I said, what do you see? And he goes, I see water, I see trees, and he's like, I don't know. That's it. And I remember thinking, because this was lessons, I had a cheat code because I used the lessons that I learned from my little one, a few days prior, because of just how they were just immersed in life, right? So I was like, again, he's, 14, so I'm like, all right, what do you see? He was like, I see water, I see trees, right? Like, and, that was kind of like it. And I was like, wow. Because if you see this view, it is like magical, right? Like it's something that there's a famous painter like by the name of Bob Ross. It looks like something that someone would have painted, right? Like there's this dew of mist, and it falls perfectly below the top of the mountain, and then the lake beneath it, and then everything is just kind of peaceful and calm. And when you look at it, you're like, wow, man, like this is like life. You know what I'm saying? It's so much life that's represented in that one scenery, and you're only going to be able to see that at that time of the day, because clearly, once the sun comes, everything kind of moves and it goes back, it shifts, right? So you're only going to see that view. And I'm like, man. And so I remember just going into thought, like, how many people actually look at this? Right? But don't see it.
It's a lot.
Right? Like, so then, so now what does that look like in life? How you can look at opportunities, you can look at success, you could look at, just something that's positive. You can look at something that's working in your favor and not see it at all. Right? So what does that say about the eyes, man? Not everything that you look at, you see.
Yes, man. Wow, that is everything, man. That is everything. Kind of remind, like, as you were describing that scenery, it reminds me of my drive all the way to work, very early in the morning. The same thing, man. Very beautiful, and I'm driving like, wow, I can't even see my front, but I'm like, okay, I can't, that is, it's like I'm driving in the cloud, or something like that, right? But yeah, man, I remember the trip we had the other time, about being in the moment, right? And it's like there are different levels of actually even being in the moment, right? Because to me, I'm like, okay, I'm in the moment. Let me answer this one real quick. Oh yeah, in the moment, right?
That's right.
But it's like, man, the moment, like, no, man, your energy, everything is just in the moment, absorbing everything. It's like sending, like wavelength, right? Like touches this, or I can feel it. My energy feels like this is a mug right here. My energy just spread it around, like, okay, that different levels of being in the present. Make sure to subscribe and like our podcast.